You ever heard the saying, karma always comes back around? Well, let me tell you, I watched it happen right in front of my eyes. My cheating husband thought he'd won until one small decision I made turned into the most brutal karma he could ever imagine. You know, people always say, karma will get you in the end. And I used to think that was just some feel-good phrase people say when they've been wronged. Until I lived it. Let me take you back. 2012. I was young, awkward, insecure, and if I'm being honest, desperate for love. I met a guy online in some video game, and he gave me attention. That's all it took. He was 28, I was barely 20, and before I could even process what was happening, we were engaged. He moved to my country, and we got married. I told myself this was it, ride or die. Turns out it was mostly die. Because what I actually married was a man-child. From day one, there were red flags everywhere. His computer password, another woman's name, his hobbies, logging thousands of hours into video games instead of, living life. His ambition, non-existent. He had emotional affairs online, always flirting with someone new, always lying. But me, I was blinded. I thought he was my soulmate. Fast forward 2 years. I was working on myself. I was back in school, medicated, building a future, paying off debt. Meanwhile, he was washing dishes at a chain restaurant and still acting like a teenager. Then came the knife in the back. I found out he was cheating. Not just online, full on. A girl from work. She was 18, he was 31. And the best part? They were hooking up in our bed, the same bed I worked my ass off to buy. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it, just shrugged and said, "We should probably divorce." Like he was talking about canceling cable. But here's where it gets interesting. We still lived together for a while. One car, one apartment, no escape. And during that awkward, miserable period, I found out more about his new fling. She lived with her parents, had no car, no money, and he actually had the audacity to grin while telling me about meeting her dad. Oh, and did I mention? He didn't bother telling the guy he was 31, married, and a dishwasher. What a prize, huh? Now, I controlled the finances, I paid the bills, handled the insurance, and one day, I get an email saying our car insurance premiums went up. I log in and, surprise! There's a new car on the policy. Turns out, Genius Boy bought himself a shiny $13,000 car with his new girlfriend as the cosigner. I was furious. He raised my premiums for his new toy, and that's when my brain went click. Petty revenge mode activated. I logged into our account, kept his car listed, because, fun fact, the multi-car discount actually saved me money. But I stripped it of every single coverage. No collision, no comprehensive, no nothing. On paper, the car was insured, but in reality, it wasn't worth the paper the policy was printed on. 5 days later, he gets into an accident, hit by an uninsured driver, car totaled, $13,000 down the drain. I wish you could have seen my face. I didn't even have to lift a finger. Karma did the work for me. He was stuck with a car loan he couldn't afford, and his sweet little girlfriend, the one who co-signed for him, was stuck right there with him. I almost felt bad. Almost. He later told me he forgave me for it, said he deserved it. And honestly, he was right. We eventually divorced. He went on to marry someone else, who later reached out to me because, shock of shocks, he cheated on her too. I warned her, but she didn't listen. Some people just have to learn the hard way. As for me, I rebuilt. I worked hard, fixed myself, and I'm with someone now who actually treats me with love and respect. But still, every time I think about it, I can't help but smile. Because that one act of petty revenge, it turned into the sweetest karma I've ever seen.